Hey guys, welcome back to the Laid Back Homestead. I'm Crystal, and today is another garden tour day because we have a lot of things coming towards the end of their season. I garden here in zone 9A, Southeast Louisiana. It is already 90 degrees outside and quite humid. So I figured since we were out here having to come fertilize and water, I would take this time to just start ripping out some things and making notes about what didn't quite make it in my environment. And that way I know for next year not to maybe start as many of those seeds. That's just kind of how I play it year by year. But it's time for me to start rolling the garden over. So I figured we would do a garden tour and look and see who's still thriving and who didn't make it. So let's go. So I ran into my greenhouse and I got my notebook so that I can accurately remember who is doing well in here. And we'll start with row A, which is this first row right here. And actually, it's not doing too bad, that particular row. So in my first bed here, I was a little concerned that we may have had some wilt in this bed. I have some peppers that I pulled out. I left a few in, and what I've noticed is that they just need to be watered a lot more than what I had been watering them. As you can see, they are really sad right now. But since we're fertilizing, I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to water them. But I don't believe it's true wilt, because if it was, by now I would have expected it on all of my tomatoes in this bed, and that's simply just not what I'm seeing. I'm just not seeing that. You know, we still have, blooms coming on. I'm not sure how much fruit set we'll get. Tomatoes tend to want to dip out when the nighttime temps are in the upper 70s, I think above 75, and your daytime temps are hitting 90s. We're definitely hitting, 90 degrees now, and our nighttime temps aren't going down as cool. We may have another week where we get a little reprieve from the heat. But if you see here, I have two, these are coming out. I have two Cherokee purples. I'm a little disappointed. I've grown Cherokee purples before and have not had issues. So I'm just going to take out the stake here and get rid of these two guys. So one of the things I'm noticing on both of these plants that I just pulled out, they don't have very established root systems to me, considering how long they were in the bed and how long they were growing. I'm not sure what would have caused that to happen. So if anybody has any ideas or suggestions on what would have stunted their root development like that, let me know. I mean, I've been gardening this way for a long time, and I don't normally run into issues like that too often, other than the wilt. Now this, I don't know what this is. I went around planting all kinds of bulbs in beds, so I have no idea what this is. I thought it would have flowered by now. It hasn't, so that'll be a nice surprise. Cosmos are still doing good. These are potatoes. This was an experiment to see if potatoes would grow alongside tomatoes. I'm thinking this is some kind of a volunteer. I'm not 100% sure about that. The pink girls are still looking good in here. These guys are at least holding their own as far as blooms go. Like I said, we'll see if we get any more fruit set. I desperately need to come in here and water. Garlic chives are in the back. They can take the heat. In my second bed in row A, the red sausage is still doing a really good job. He looks really healthy, not having any issues there. We've got some Romas that are still setting as well. Beefy Purple, who has just done amazing. This was my first year growing him. Definitely will continue. Tomato plants right here in this bed that are probably 7 foot tall. And that is, looks like the green zebra back there. Variety, green zebra variety. They're doing okay. Their fruit's not getting real big. We got some peppers down here and then some more potatoes, and we had some volunteer red beans or kidney beans that come up. Hot day. Now, this bed here, the third bed, is the star of the show. This bed has tomato plants that are easily 8 foot tall, and they all look healthy. Now, will they continue to set fruit? That remains to be seen. Snapdragons are still trying to bloom. This was a dahlia. It looks a little hot. I do have some peppers back there. They were getting shaded out by obviously all of this. I mean, every variety in here has done well. Everything I've got, let's see, hillbilly up front. That's hillbilly right there. Next to it, triple L crop. I can get high enough. We got Dr. Wychees here on the end, looking nice and healthy. And then in the middle, Black from Tula, which did amazing. And Country Taste on the other end. Country Taste has got fruit set above my trellis system. So that's awesome. And then back here, Pink Girls. Not seeing any fruit, but definitely still got some flowers out here. So maybe the pink brandywine and the black brandywine are still setting, which is odd. I've always been told that brandywines were hard to grow, but I mean, here they are still growing. And I have cucumber and tomatoes hiding out. In fact, I think I'm going to harvest that cucumber. He looks like he's a good size. Cucumbers is definitely something I'm going to replant. Mine haven't done super well. This guy is producing. I have one other one that is producing. Oh, well, look what I just found. Another one. Let me grab that one too. So right now I'm just harvesting the odd bits and ends as I see them, but not so much the tomatoes. This back bed here, also still doing pretty good. Mostly Romas. I've got another volunteer tromboncino not doing anything. Romas are still doing good. The red sausage, this was my first year growing this variety. I am very impressed with the size of the fruits. I actually prefer it to the Romas. I haven't gotten nearly as many Romas that size. So the red sausage and the cream sausage are definite winners in my book for where I live. Everything still looks really healthy, still has flowers. Hopefully we'll get some more fruit set. So that was all of row A. And now we'll go over row B. As you can see, some things didn't make it. My very large cucumbers that I had planted did not make it. I had 2 of them. They both died. I have no idea why. I had 2 smaller ones that are all of a sudden decided to take off. Again, I'm not sure what's going on with that. This tomato here, he looks dead. Yeah, he's dead. I was making sure that that growth up top wasn't him. It's not. That's Paul Robeson behind him. So who died? Another Cherokee Purple died. What in the world? I wonder if it was bad seed? I don't know. Well, he's going to get yanked out. I don't know what's going on with these guys. We do have something still kicking in here. I have an Amish paste that's still in here doing good. So around that. We still have some garden paste setting fruit in here, which again, I cannot sing garden paste praises enough. Pepper in here, still doing good. Just harvested a bunch off of here, and there's actually a bell pepper down there. So the rest of what's in here is another Roma. Mr. Paul Robeson in the back. He's easily 8 foot tall. So they're still setting. I can't complain too much about this bed. And my volunteer tromboncino squash in this bed, I like because even though he's not setting any fruit, he is providing shade for my tomatoes. Brad's Atomic Grape, still setting fruits. Now this guy on the end, oh no, he's fine. He's leaning, he's broken, but he's got fruit. You can see everything is kind of falling over and intermingling. So in the second bed, this was like my Roma bed. Okay, I need help. I've always been told determinate tomatoes like Roma, they were going to set all their fruit and then they were going to die off. And they're not doing that. I don't understand. They've set fruit. I've harvested fruit, but they're not doing the dying off part. And I know I shouldn't be complaining about that, but I kind of had this bed space reserved for other things. I mean, I've got peppers in here that are struggling. My peanut, not one peanut, but I've got other peppers in here too because I was fully expecting the Romas to be done. So I don't know. Is that not how determinant's supposed to work? This is my first time growing determinant, so I really don't know. And then my scarlet runner beans that I showed y'all in another video, it just tickles me because they've climbed over from this bed. Now this was my third bed. Marigolds are doing great. This guy is doing amazing. Let's see who he is. Wow. Oh, this is another black brandywine, and he's still setting pretty decent sized fruits too. I guess we'll see how the heat affects them. I'm hoping that the little bit of cool off we're going to get next week, and by cool off I mean the temps, the highs are in the upper 80s and not the low 90s. But I think our lows are going to drop back down to low 70s. So I'm hopeful that I get another flush. That's why we're fertilizing today too. Goodness gracious. I've never grown 8-foot tall tomatoes. I don't even know if you can get perspective. And there's the shed in the back. Who's this really tall one back here? Oh, Radiator Charlie. Not a fruit on you though. My fight to have a Radiator Charlie or a ML Charlie or whatever, mortgage lifter, continues because I don't think I'm getting any this year. So moving on to the last bed over here. Again, we've got some dying back. Not a whole lot though. The Amish pace is still doing good. My garden pace is still doing good. So lots of flowers, some more blushing fruit. This is another dahlia, which I'm hoping now that there's a lot more sun hitting here, the dahlia will actually bloom. And my lettuce leaf basil. Everything in here, I'm looking at the tops. I'm not worried about the bottoms. Everything's still showing a lot of decent growth. So garden is surviving. So moving on to our grow bag hydroponic systems. My wilty plant, he's going to come out today. I'm not going to yank him out because you really do need to bleach your hands after messing with him before touching anything else in the yard. And my hands, not bleach, I'm sorry, alcohol your hands. And my hands can't always handle the alcohol. So my husband will come through. I'm seeing this is also looking like this could be a sign of wilt in this bag. And I have 2 bags on the bottom that I'll show you also, I believe, have wilts. So on the ground, I have this Amish paste that I'm pretty sure I've mentioned in another video, I believe has wilt. And then the one next to it is fine, which is weird. And then it jumps that one, and there was another Roma that looks like it succumbed to it. You see, it's all. So that's all going to come out today. I'm going to test these bags by planting. I originally said I was going to test them by planting green beans, but because it's getting so hot here, I think I might do peanuts. I need to research, but I'm pretty sure my peanuts are susceptible to bacterial wilt. And if they are, that's what I'm going to plant to try. This is my Mad Hatter. I have one also in my hydroponic system. Finally getting a blush one. I have never grown these. I don't know how hot they are. If they're anything like the MG Leopolds, they're going to be quite spicy. The baby bell coming on right there. And I mean, honestly, if you have bacterial wilt and you really do want to grow without worrying, hydroponics is the way to go. I am 5'3", and this plant is easily 6 inches taller than me. So another Mad Hatter. Lots of fruit. I mean, you're not going to be... Ooh, it's thundering. That is a happy sound when it's 90-something degrees outside. We're actually supposed to get rain all next week, and to tell you that that makes my heart giddy. If y'all can see it, it's cloudy. Let's go. So over here, we've got some more bells. This is just a wine barrel pot. I got an eggplant on here. I got all kinds of things going on here. This is the MG Leopold Spicy. Got a poblano back there. This isn't on drip irrigation. These I have to water every single day. Got some ping tongues. I'm going to harvest these. Oh no, something got to one. Well, that upsets me. This was fine the other day. Well, I guess I'll harvest the other ones before something else gets down. The audacity. My Thai peppers are doing good. And you can see this side of the hydroponics, my reservoir is my crazy, supposedly dwarf tomato plants, right? Okay. Maybe it's dwarf if they're not in hydroponic systems. I don't know. But we've got a bunch of just different bell pepper varieties coming on. These are getting way too much sun. You can see it's got sun scalds. So I'm a little disappointed. I think I'm going to harvest that just to get them off the plant so the plant isn't putting its energy into that. And if I come over here, oh yeah, we got to pull our onions. I'm not sure that's not wilt. So I just need to be mindful of what I'm doing. We'll have to go alcohol in my hands. Alrighty. I mean, these onions have been in here a hot minute. I wasn't sure I was even going to get anything, which obviously this is not like, ooh boy. But what I do is I just chop them up and I freeze them as already like diced, frozen, chopped onion. Or I'll mix them with butter and make like a compound herb butter with them. Or I'll chop them and freeze them with cilantro for salsa cubes. Now, I do have some carrots in with this garlic, but they don't really look super ready. I'm not really seeing anything that would tell me, hey, pull me. So I'm gonna leave it. And I've got this tomato in here again. I don't know. It's odd that this would have wilt, but you never know. And then I have my beets over here. I am gonna pull my beets because I don't think they're gonna get any bigger than this. And before I get a chance to pickle them. So let's grab those. So this is my first year ever actually growing a beet. I've planted them many years. Some of them are not there yet. I've planted them before, never had a single one come up. These are awfully small. I'm sure they're supposed to get bigger than this. I can almost guarantee it. But I'm going to take what I have, use what I have. I mean, that one's not too terrible. Ooh. There's a lot of creepy crawlies on that. It's a little too small to do much with. And the ones next to it, I know you're supposed to thin them, so I am just going to thin the ones that are too close. Yeah, I'll leave those two. But I've got a few. I'm not actually going to harvest anything out of my hydroponic system. The beauty of this, I find I don't have a whole lot of things that rot. I almost feel like you get a little bit extra time with things. So I use these as I need them. But I am going to get rid of those guys simply because they're exposed. A little leaf-footed bug. So now that I got those off, I'm hoping that that will symbolize to the plant, if it's not too hot, to set more fruit. I do see some flowers there, so that's good. I do have the DWC buckets. We just harvested a bunch of tomatoes off of that, so there's really nothing there. I have my self-watering herb thing that I have a love-hate relationship with. The dill is gone. Not to say I'm really surprised. I've got lemon basil, regular basil, rosemary, thyme that I'm propagating, and some parsley. But because it doesn't get a whole lot of sun here, I think that's why they're struggling. What is growing up in my oregano? Well, I guess there's a first time for everything. My green stalk is mainly strawberries and herbs. But I've got cool little fungi coming up. Never seen him before. Now, I'm not going to go into the greenhouse on this tour because I'm about to do a whole video where we're ripping everything out and going over all that. And so that'll be a whole greenhouse reset. My bag's on the outside of the greenhouse. Got a lonely pepper back there. They don't get a lot of sun, these few back here. This does indeed look like wilt. He's coming out. And I'll just continue to let the garlic do what it's going to do. Got some peppers here. Some dragon tongue, bush beans setting on here, as well as I believe some more chili peppers. Yeah, that's some Thai peppers right there. Coming up behind them strong. This one's more peppers. I went real heavy on peppers this year. Some bells, they're small, they're turning. They really don't like the heat here. And this is either some basil, which I think it is, or it's a volunteer. I don't know yet. Oh no, that's lime basil. Well, that's nice. This side, my gimpy pepper plants, they're struggling. Basil's doing good. Eggplant's doing good. And my fireball, despite some yellow leaves, is producing blooms again. So I'd say overall he's doing well too. These are some seeds that We started in a seed starting video, some squash and some sunflowers varieties that I'm growing. This is my Mexican sunflowers coming up from my homestead property. And some I'll keep here because they serve as a vegan manure, if you will, when chopped and dropped. And then this is my pepper project. It's all about saved peppers. They're doing okay. For a while, they were looking really, really bad. I really thought I was just going to lose them all. And then we went on vacation, and I thought for sure I'd come back and they would be gone. But some of them have actually taken off. They don't get enough sun where they are. I will need to figure out a better solution. So grateful that in my next house on my homestead property, I will never have to say those words again because the entire property gets sun, full sun. It's amazing. We've got a celebrity variety blushing. This is the only plant in my whole yard that is this variety. It was the only seed or start that I was able to keep alive. I started more than one seed, but for whatever reason, I lost those seedlings. So I'm excited to taste that one. Haven't had that one before. And then heading over here, we have our blueberry patch and our little blackberry patch. Blackberries are not doing that great. I'm not sure why. They're supposed to grow wild here. They do grow wild here. But for whatever reason, I planted one and it's giving me trouble. My son's green onion patch that he started, and my rosemary that took a beating during our snowstorm, but just trying. We've already harvested a ton of blueberries, but we've got more. And every day you can come out and get some. And then this is row C / my self-watering buckets. These actually, for the most part, are doing really well for what they are. These were new builds. I've said it a bunch of times, I think, because it makes me feel better. And everything in here looked like it was struggling. I mean, I'm seeing good results now. I can't really complain. Again, this is a 6 foot tall tomato, doing fine. My tags for these got all jumbled, so that's why I don't have all the exact varieties. I mean, some things I can see, like back there, the label very clearly says Cherokee Carbon. So yes, that's Cherokee Carbon. Some things are struggling. My peppers are struggling. That is, really bugs. And I expect my buckets to eventually kind of peter out. These were, again, a determinate variety, and yet he's determined not to be determinate. So we've got definitely more tomatoes coming on. Don't know how many more we'll really get after. See, they're not getting very big. The heat at this point, they're just not getting very big. And then, I mean, not everything is doing perfect. I've got back there, that definitely looks like a nutrition issue in the bed. So I'm just kind of pulling things as I see them. I might give him another day. My cosmos in the back are doing good. First year ever growing cosmos, so that's exciting. Finally got some more eggplant flowers. Over here, my green eggplant is still growing. I'm not really sure when to pick them, and my chili is getting nice size. Chili basil. I have a lot of blossom end rot on my San Marzanos. I've noticed that this particular variety of tomato, at least where I am, is very prone to that. And my beefy purples are still trying to set, letting them do what they're gonna do. I have some more blushing back there. Like I said, I'm not really worried about pulling the blushing tomatoes today because we're still processing. I mean, at this point, we've gotten well over 100 pounds of tomatoes processed. See, nice big blooms. I'm hopeful for more fruit. If you notice, I'm telling y'all, something's going on. My sweet potato slips that I planted as slips are really not doing that much. See? They're puny. Now over here, I planted the whole sweet potato with the slips coming off of them, and I just threw the whole potato in the ground. And these guys are doing amazing. I mean, he's already halfway up this tomato plant. So, I don't know. I'm starting to think my way of always doing it, the lazy way, may have been the most beneficial way. So guys, yes, there's been an outfit change because it was way too hot, and a hair change because, again, way too hot. But before it rains, I'm going to try to go get a few more things done, a few more things fertilized. I want to go around with my electric toothbrush and hand pollinate my tomato flowers. Just try and get one last, hurrah out of them. And in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be planting out brand new seeds We're going to be planning out brand new starts because we already started some seeds together in another video. So if you're into any of that type of content, if you enjoy gardening content, cooking content, homesteading content, I encourage you to subscribe. But as always, thank y'all for coming around with me. I'd love to know what you're growing in your garden or what you're about to be growing in your garden, depending on where you live. If you wouldn't mind sharing that with me. But again, thank you all for hanging out. And until next time, stay blessed.